This episode of the TDLA podcast is brought to you by Vaporize. No matter what kind of animal you have, let's face it, they all have to do their business.
Vaporize.
That's right. One spray, problem solved. It's the miracle spray. One spray and animal doo-doo disappears. No fuss, no muss, no tools to clean, no plastic bags. Too good to be true? Find out for yourself. Vaporize. Because making life easier is what we do.
Available in stores everywhere.
Let's get into it.
On this episode of The Two Dudes in LA, the dudes talk about the Hawaii missile scare, and Hawaiian sheep farmer / doomsday preparation enthusiast stops by for a chat. Then, the dudes drop an actual bomb of knowledge on today's youth regarding the obvious reasons why not to eat laundry detergent. Then, it's time to introduce a new segment called Pitchin' Flicks. So get ready for some movie pitches, bitches. I'm just playing, y'all. Then Watson writes an empowering and heartfelt letter to Oprah Winfrey. Then the dudes play Don't You Dare Laugh Again and fail miserably. Again. Then, listener emails and a conversation regarding The Purge. And that's all we got for this episode of the Two Dudes in LA podcast. Hold on to your dingleberries. I know I am.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
Episode 2.
Episode 2?
I believe.
Okay.
If that comes after 1.
It does. It does indeed. You're in luck,
I haven't been in school in a while, so.
Yeah. We've at least made 2. So there's that.
That's pretty good. I mean, we started something.
We started something, and hopefully we're going to finish it. I guess you don't really finish a podcast, right?
Yeah. I mean, how does that work?
I guess it just goes on forever.
That's what's going to happen. I see us at 90 years old in wheelchairs just... I remember when we started back in our 20s.
Yes, wheeling out my Yeti mic and your snowball mic.
Have our, 100 faithful listeners after all these years.
Yeah, old as us.
They're still doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, because most podcasts aren't like, hey, we're done, it's over. They just stop and then don't do it again. Or they do it, but then it's like way down the line, Yeah,
I wonder how many of them actually update their listeners oh, by the way, we're done. I hope you're not holding out.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Scott Aukerman, even during his TV show, still did the podcast, which I thought was interesting. So, but then, Grandma's Virginity, it didn't end. I mean, they called it the end, question mark?
Yeah, question mark.
They didn't necessarily say it was the end. So I don't know.
It's been probably 2 years since that episode, but I would love for them to just do another, almost like an update.
Yeah.
Just kind of where are we at in our lives.
Yeah.
And
I bet they will someday, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Speaking of that, though, Rick and Morty, real quick, did you hear that they're not even going to, we probably won't get any Rick and Morty this year. They haven't even started writing it the next season.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not going to, nothing's going to come until next year, so 2019, supposedly.
Wow, because season 3 took over a year and a half.
Yeah,
and so this one's you're saying is going to take even longer than that.
That's what they've been saying. A writer confirmed. So who knows? But maybe they could do that, and then maybe we'll get little snippets throughout the year, like we did last year or whatever.
True. Or they'll release one episode or something.
Yeah, that was so cool on April Fools. Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, how was your week? Any cool things happen?
I got back together with my animation group after the holidays. It
Nice.
was good. We watched Pan's Labyrinth. It was fun. A lot of them hadn't seen it, and
Whoa.
it's darker than you expect.
Oh, Pan's Labyrinth is so fun.
And you saw a Guillermo movie.
I saw Shape of Water last night. That was awesome. It was a little weird at times, but overall, I loved it. I think it was a really cool story, and Sally Hawkins is a gem. She's the lead in it. She's great. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I still haven't, so I'm looking forward to it.
Get on it, man. Get on it.
Will do. But during the week, I did have some thoughts that
hit me up.
I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
I was driving in my car, and Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine came on.
Okay.
And if you know the song, the hook, I guess, is, "They rally round your family with a pocket full of shells." And when I was a kid in the 90s, I thought they were talking about seashells. That's how ignorant I was.
Nice. I mean, I've always had that with, like, I know this is like the most stereotypical one, but like with Lion King, when it's like, I always thought they said something about like pajamas.
Yeah.
Pajamas, or something like that.
I gotta change pajamas.
Yeah, exactly. I always thought it was something like that. I'm sure there's been other things too, but that was kind of like the first one that came to mind. I also know the one that's like, what's the, oh my gosh, wake up, grab a shampoo,
Makeup. System of a Down.
Yeah.
Why'd you leave it up on the table?
Yeah. I thought like the first line was like, when it's wake up. So what's up? See, even now I'm a little worried about it.
I haven't looked it up, but I just go like, grab my brush and put a little makeup.
Yeah, like that's what I thought it is. Grab a brush and put a little. You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out what it is. Do you know what it's called? System of the Down.
No, it's not Ariel's.
Man, our viewers would be like, I know what it is.
BYOB. Is it the BYOB song?
I'm gonna type in "wake up" and see what happens.
System of a Down, "Wake Up."
Wake up.
Or SOTD, "Wake Up."
I don't think it's "wake up," but
what about
Chop Suey?
Chop Suey. Yeah, that's the song.
Okay, so it's grab a brush and put a little makeup.
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, no. I know now that I was right, but back then I thought it was like Skimaloosh and Full Up Take Up is what I thought it was originally.
Oh, that makes more sense. Skimaloosh and Full Up.
Skimaloosh and Full Up Makeup. Good song, good times.
That's great. What about just like phrases that you hear in everyday conversation? Did you ever? It makes me think of, and we always come back to Rick and Morty, but I thought it was funny how in season 3, Rick says, take it for granted. And Morty's like, did you just say take it for granted? Because like he's supposed to be the smartest person in the universe,
right?
But can't get everything right.
I'm sure I have. I'm sure it was. Man, I mess up stuff like this all the time, and so like I'm so confident in like what I'm about to say, and then it turns out being terrible.
Does it bother you when you catch someone else like messing up?
As long as they're like, actually, no. I actually don't. I actually never correct anybody.
Oh no, I don't correct him, but I'm just like, come on. How long have you been speaking English?
See, that's my thing. Is like maybe because I'm so bad at it, I always give everyone a pass, and that's true. People have corrected me so many times. It's like.
I get that. If you have the same problem, then you can't judge other people.
Like, I'm not like a grammar Nazi or anything because...
And here I am being judgmental, but I'm probably saying a bunch of things incorrectly. And when I get called out, I'm going to feel really embarrassed.
We will.
So.
We'll probably get called on...
I know that I'm just taking this for granted.
There you go. Yeah, I actually, speaking of, I was listening to our podcast, our first one, and I was listening to us talking, and I was saying something about... I don't want to. I'm trying to think. I don't know the exact word, but I was trying to say disgruntle, but what I actually said was discriminate from our podcast.
Really?
And I was like, why would we discriminate anyone from our podcast? I don't know. So that was one thing, is like, and I kept saying it, and I was like, ugh. But that's another thing, is like, you're like, I don't know about you, but like, I know most people are like, your biggest critic is yourself. Oh, and so like, I don't know if anyone else is going to notice that, but I notice that, and like, when I listen to these podcasts, I'm probably going to be like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? I'm so weird, but
it happens.
Yeah, totally. But I'm just seeing, yeah, okay. Sorry, I was checking to make sure that we can. Great.
Another thought, because I can't remember what podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about sleepwalking. And it reminded me of, I wasn't really a sleepwalker growing up, but there was this one story that my mom would always tell me about when I was a kid. And so when I must have been probably about 3 years old. Yeah. My mom was in the living room watching TV late at night, and she said she saw me like a shadow, like run past in the hallway into the kitchen. And she's like, what? And she gets up, follows me into the kitchen, and I'm peeing on the stove.
Wait, you're 3? Okay, you're not like on the counter peeing on the stove.
No, I'm standing on the ground, and I'm just peeing on...
Just going to town.
Yeah, I don't know where I was hitting, but... And then she asked me, like, Shaun, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom. Well, you're not in the bathroom.
Doing my business. Come on. That's really funny. Yeah, I've never sleepwalked, but my little brother, he used to sleepwalk like crazy. I don't think he does anymore. At least I haven't heard anything. But like, when I was 12, so he had to be, let's see. No, I wasn't even 12. I was, 10 or 11, I guess. So he's 4 years younger than me. So he was like 6, 5, around there. But like, there were times where I'd wake up and see my mom was a single mother. And so I would watch out for my brother. And like, we would, there were times where I'd wake up and he wouldn't be anywhere around. And I, being worried, I was like, oh, is he okay? So I'd go out and there he is just like out, like just staring outside. And I'm like, this is terrifying. Wow. And, we knew that he was like a bad sleepwalker. And so one of the big things they tell you is don't wake them up, just let them do their thing. And so another time he was sleepwalking. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention. Thank you for our live studio audience for being here today. Sorry, I forgot to acknowledge
thank you, audience. It's great to see you all again. Thanks for coming.
We kind of just jumped right in. I'm sorry to acknowledge you guys. Just us guys. I know. So anyways, so the second story, my brother, so this is a little bit older. This is the last time I remember him sleepwalking, but he was sleeping in my room because he was scared, and we were, and he was on the floor and I was in my bed. And then all of a sudden I hear, singing and I'm like, what's going on? So I wake up. My mom went to Hawaii and she brought me back, a lei, like the flower thing. Mm. And
you got laid by your mom.
Hey, bazinga. Yeah. But so I hear singing. So I look over and he has the lei in his hands and he's like going like this, like he's showering.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and this is like 2 a.m. and he's singing. I don't remember what it was. He was really into Fiddler on the Roof, so it had something to do with that. Like, if I were a rich man, and he was like 9 at the time. So, but yeah, I've never personally sleepwalked. He also talk a lot in his sleep, which I thought was interesting. Do you know if you talk a lot in your sleep?
Not that I've been told.
I'm a snorer.
Yeah,
like I snore like crazy. So
I gotcha.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that's with that. Speaking of leis and my mom going to Hawaii, did you hear about the emergency scare thing?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Like, so for those who don't know, basically people who are in Hawaii got a notification on their phones for it's kind of like the Amber Alert thing you guys get all the time. But this actually was basically saying a missile was heading towards Hawaii. This is not a drill. Find shelter now. That's literally basically what it said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, literally within minutes of that, everyone in Hawaii gets another message saying that's a false alarm. We don't know who sent it out. And yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
What an emotional roller coaster.
I know.
Thinking you're basically going to die 1 minute.
Yeah.
And then just realizing, oh, we messed up.
Yeah.
And I didn't look into what happened, if they blamed one person, if it was a technical issue.
Yeah, I've heard that they're still trying to figure out how it happened. There's literally memes being made right now because they talked to the official of Hawaii who's under that, who controls that. And he's like, we're trying to figure it out.
Wow.
They have no idea. And I had a friend, one of my improv buddies, he's from San Diego. Him and his wife and son were in Hawaii. And it was really sad because he's really afraid of flying. So he was posting about, I'm so terrified to fly. Please, send good vibes. Send good vibes. He gets there safely, luckily. But then within 2 days, that terrible, whatever happened. Hopefully we get answers soon because, I don't get. I mean, that's such a terrible. If it was a prank, such a terrible prank to do right now.
Yeah.
I mean, North Korea is flexing their muscles.
It's a very real possibility.
Yeah, it's something that's pretty terrifying. So, but geez.
I mean, I guess they fixed it, like you said, within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But it does make me wonder, like, what kind of hysteria could have happened.
Yeah.
In that couple of minutes, you know, like, there's a lot of doomsday preppers and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just imagining, like, some guy who was super prepared for this moment.
Yeah.
And he's just been, like, living in this moment. And when it came out, he was so ready, but maybe he forgot, like, his radio and his phone, but he just ran down into his bunker, locked himself in there, and he's probably still in there right now.
Actually, my friend, my friend who I told you from San Diego, right? He actually brought back someone who you were just talking about. So I hope you don't mind, but who's that?
Oh,
yeah. I wonder who that could be. Would you mind go checking? Is that
yeah,
okay?
let's go check it out.
Yeah, you go ahead and go check it out. And
hello? Yes?
Oh.
Come on in. Yes, it's nice to meet you.
Here he comes.
Yes, take a seat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Hey!
Hey.
How's it going? Sorry, what's your name?
My name's Randy.
Hey, Randy. Nice to meet you. I'm Watson. So please tell me a little bit about what happened over there.
Well, I was tending to my sheep.
Okay.
By the way, this was a really serious thing.
Of course.
But I was tending to my sheep.
Now, real quick, your sheep tending was a serious thing? Or what happened was a serious thing?
Well, just the entire situation. I
Okay.
mean, I take my sheep tending very seriously.
Your teat sheeping? Is that what you said?
I take my teats, my sheeps, all of that very seriously, and you're not taking me seriously.
No, I'm sorry. You're right.
You called me all the way from Hawaii because you wanted to hear my story.
Well, I'm sorry. You're right. Continue. Yes.
So I'm tending to my sheep.
Yep.
And I see on my cell phone that there's going to be a missile, and I said, oh boy, I'm ready for this.
Yes.
And I ran so fast to my bunker.
Yep.
I left my dog.
What about your sheep?
I left my sheep.
Oh,
There
man.
wasn't enough room for them, and I don't have enough food for my sheep.
Right. Well, you could have eaten the sheep.
That's very true. I should
don't
have
know
at
if
least
that's
let
your
one
thing.
sheep in.
Yeah.
But
So where's your... So explain... What was your name again? I'm terrible with names.
Randy.
Randy. Okay. What was your... Sorry. That's a great name. What is the layout of your farm? I'm assuming that's what you call it?
Yes, I've got a big red barn.
Okay, of course.
In Hawaii.
Of course.
And there's like a boulder.
Nice.
It looks like a boulder.
Ah.
But it's really light. You lift it up, and there's a
Cool.
hatch. And then I've got my bunker down there, and I can survive for about 5 to 7 years.
Nice. And then after that, it's just luck.
Well, I mean, I guess I would just hope that after that much time, I can pop back up and see what's going on.
What's up?
Hopefully, the world's not too irradiated or.
Totally. Is you said 5 to 7 years?
Yeah, depending on how hungry I am.
Okay. Yeah. Very true. How long does it take for nuclear blasts to settle? Is it a little longer than that?
Oh, that's a good. I haven't really looked into it.
Well,
I mean, I can only fit so much food in this, so I guess I was just hoping that would be enough. At least long enough for me to come up with a game plan. Maybe since I'm already underground, I can dig my way to another safer area.
Well, now-
I do have tools for digging.
Okay, that's nice. May I make a suggestion? Was it Ray or Randy?
Randy.
Okay, great. I'm glad one of them was right. Can I make a suggestion for you?
Okay.
What if you made a place where you could have self-sustaining food? You could plant vegetables and stuff.
Underground?
Underground, yeah. They have the little lights that do that.
Oh, I was just about to say, don't you need sun? But,
yeah, they have lights for that.
All right. Well, I mean, now that I know that I have time,
Yeah.
I can. This situation really kind of made it clear to me how unprepared I actually
Yes,
was.
Absolutely.
So
Do you have water in there?
plenty of water?
Okay. Let's make sure. Do you have a way to breathe? Because you can't just dig a hole in the ground. You have to have a way to breathe.
I mean, I guess I was just hoping that there'd be enough air in there to get me
survive
by for
7 years.
5 to 7 years.
Okay. I mean, I'm not the most.
But where do you get air from?
I'm assuming a filter of some kind, maybe.
Like canned air?
I don't know if there's canned air, but if there's not, that should be a thing. I think. Are you a fan of Mel Brooks by chance?
Does he make shoes?
No, that's no. Mel Brooks is a famous movie writer, director / actor, but in Spaceballs there is air, like drinks, canned air, basically.
Oh, Spaceballs. Oh, okay.
You've seen Spaceballs?
I believe I have. It's been a while.
Nice. Are you a fan of South Park at all? Because you sound an awful lot like what's his name?
Well, to answer your question, no, I don't know. I don't know
so
South Park.
Don't know what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter. Well, great. It's been great for you to be here. If now that this has happened, a lot of us, that's on our minds a lot. What is your advice to people out there? Like, what would you say to them who are preparing for this battle? Or for this battle, who are preparing like you are? Or I guess need to prepare more, like, whatever.
Just start digging. Yeah, that's what I did.
Start digging.
I was years ago. I was out tending to my sheep.
Nice.
As I usually do.
How many sheep do you have?
Last time I counted, about 300.
3? Holy crap!
300 sheep.
What do you use them for?
I just sell them to people who buy sheep.
Oh, okay. So you don't like use them for wool. It's just like
I don't know what people use sheep for.
Oh,
My
okay.
goal is to keep them alive and breed them.
Well, what if people are buying your sheep to eat them?
Oh, that's none of my business.
Oh, but so once they're out of your possession, people can do what they want.
Once the money's in my hand,
once the money's in your hand, they could kill them however you want. But in your possession, no, they're your sheep. You keep them alive.
Exactly.
Okay, just making sure.
So what I was saying is, when
Yes.
I was tending to my sheep many years ago,
Yes.
it occurred to me that what if we were under attack? You know,
Yeah.
we've never really been under attack on our soil.
True.
And what if it happened?
Well, I mean,
And
Pearl
just
Harbor.
out of pure panic,
Yeah.
I started digging.
Nice.
And that turned into my bunker.
Okay.
Which took a couple of years, but
Gotcha. Well, here at the TDLA podcast, we know that your bunker is not up to par, so we actually have a sponsor here today. Bunkers R Us. They're actually going to give you a shopping spree where you can get everything you need to make sure your bunker is complete. What do you think, audience? Is that great?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So thank you so much for stopping by, Randy. Please, if there's anything you need, let us know. I'm sure hopefully we'll get you back on sometime. Shaun is just over there texting on his phone. If you could tell him to come back, that would be great.
Oh, all right. And thanks for having me. Thank you, audience, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you, Randy.
Shaun, I think you're back.
Coming back.
Oh, all right. Thank you. And thanks for coming, Randy. My pleasure.
Wow. Nice guy. Nice enough guy.
Yeah.
Likes his sheep, though.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I guess you didn't really hear. Yeah, he really likes his sheep. My one question I forgot to ask him is, if he cares so much about his sheep, why doesn't he build enough, enough? You weren't here, so I guess. Why doesn't he build a shelter to help his sheep? But, all right. I mean,
That's a lot of resources to.
It's true. And he has 300.
And I was just about to say, where would all the shit go? But if he used our Vaporize,
Yes.
it wouldn't be a problem.
Yep. Let's give it up for Vaporize, our sponsor.
Thank you, Vaporize.
Well, awesome. Let me just see. Okay, good. Checking, baby. Okay. Oops, wrong one.
What else is going on in the world?
What else is going on?
I got something.
Yeah, hit me up.
Teenagers are eating laundry detergent.
What is going on?
Have you heard of this?
I have.
They're
It's
calling
ridiculous.
it the Tide Pod Challenge.
It's in my mind. It's called "If You're Stupid" challenge because you're doing it.
Let me repeat that one more time. Teenagers are eating laundry detergent and they're looking at it as the ice bucket challenge.
Right. Come on, dudes. What happened back in the day when you could I don't know what you would do, but the challenge for us, and we, this is aging me a little bit, but, in middle school, not everyone had like a camera to see everything. And so like what we would do to like the challenge is we would rub our pens, on the desk really, really fast and then stick them on our arms and they would burn our arms. But, that was like, that wasn't causing any harm. But like, this is like chemicals. Like I have a Tide thing over here. I'm going to go get it and we're going to read what chemicals are in this thing. One second.
All right. Because, I was just like, when you were a kid and you did something stupid with your friends, your mom would be like, well, if all of your friends jumped off of a bridge, would you do it? And you're like, well, obviously not.
Right.
Obviously I wouldn't do that. This is kind of one of those things that your mom could have said in that situation. Like, well, if all of your friends ate laundry detergent, would you do it? It's like, well, obviously not. But these kids are like, well, if I filmed it, how many views would I get?
Oh my gosh. Exactly. And that's kind of like, I don't want to come off as one of those people that are like, down this generation. Because technically, I think they're still part of our generation. So it's like, but yeah, that's exactly it. They want views. They're hungry for this attention. And I know here we are making a podcast, but at least I'm not going to eat this.
Well,
and I don't want to show the logo because we're not sponsored by Tide.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Literally. So I have a thing of Tide Pods right here. Literally on the front, it says, warning, if put in mouth or swallowed, paces can burst in... oh my gosh. So it literally has a giant warning sign saying, harmful if put in mouth or swallowed. Okay, so that's right.
And these kids are reading this and saying, oh, that all adds up.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It still looks delicious.
Yeah.
Look at these bright colors.
Oh yeah. Will irritate eyes. Oh my gosh. There's like... I'm trying to... Look, they don't even list their ingredients because they're so... Let's see. There's got to be something here, right? No, they're not even... Okay.
Probably just a lot of words that we don't understand.
Yeah, it doesn't... I honestly can read you this, but it will... It says, if you do not... Oh, wow. Okay, so... if detergent gets in the mouth, immediately rinse with water for 15 minutes. If swallowed, give glass of water or milk. It will help induce vomiting. So you're expected to vomit once you eat these.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on.
And I wonder how it affects, like coming out the other end. How is that?
Oh, I bet it just smells like Febreze. That's what this.
That's
this
okay.
Like.
That might be a benefit.
So like, I see these.
It looks delicious.
I mean, like, that's what they should do. Is someone should make like a treat that's like this so that people will not be stupid.
You know what? They probably will now. That's
good,
true. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Hey, if you're out there, give us money because we came up with that idea.
But I mean, throughout our lives, we see things that look delicious and look appetizing, but we just know that they aren't.
Yeah.
And I think the closest that most kids ever got was like Play-Doh. But Play-Doh's like, that's meant for children to play with, so they kind of expect kids to eat it. Yeah. So that's a whole different story. This is, I don't even know how it started. Like if one person filmed themselves doing it and it went viral, and these kids watched it, their reaction wasn't, "Oh, that kid's an idiot." It was, "Oh, I should do that and get views."
Yeah. Well, I think started it was, I remember seeing a bunch of memes, and memes are great. I love memes, but I think sometimes they normalize things, And so maybe in kids' minds they think, this is normal. Like people are making fun of people for wanting to eat these, and then they just do it and they're idiots. So,
well, I mean, I guess at one point or another we all entertain the idea of like a get rich quick scheme, and that generation is like very big on trying to figure out how to go viral.
Yeah. We talked about Logan Paul last time.
Yeah, but they're taking the cheap route. They're not doing anything that like requires skill or practice.
Yeah.
They're filming themselves conforming to whatever's popular at the time.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And it's just like we're actually making a product. We're putting thought and time into it, and this is way different. You can't even compare this to somebody eating laundry detergent.
Yeah, and like we're also not really doing this for the views or for the listens or whatever you want to call it. We're mostly doing this just to, us hang out and to vent. And if a few people get to chime in during these conversations, awesome. And speaking of that, with what we talked about today, if you have any insight or thoughts about it, feel free to tweet at us at tdlapodcast, or we'll get to this a little bit later on, but you can also send us questions at tdlapodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, any other things with this Tide podcast thing? Or, I mean, I talked about doing the burn thing. Did you ever do anything else? That was the challenge back in our day?
I mean, I did the ice bucket challenge. I was an adult at that time, though. I'm trying to think of what was cool as a teenager.
I remember
I went through some weird fashion phases, but everyone does that. We're trying to figure out who we are and our individuality, and I did some weird things with my hair, but I wasn't like, oh, everyone's doing this. It's kind of ridiculous, but I want to be a part of the thing.
Yeah. I remember, I never did this, but this actually might be harmful. I remember people would like make scabs. I don't know, this is going to sound ridiculous, but this happened in my school.
Dude, people at your school were like...
I know, dude. We were badass.
Masochists.
But they would pick designs and make scab designs, which sounds gross.
Geez.
But that would happen. I'll show you a picture, but one of my friends posted that saying... Oh, I remember doing this in school, and it was a smiley face. And then someone commented, was like, you really did this? And he was like, yep, I still have my smiley face on my chest because it's scarred.
Wow. That does remind me, I've got a buddy who, when he was in high school, or maybe even younger, him and his friend got self-tattooing kits.
Oh my gosh.
So on his right butt cheek, he has the worst smiley face ever. And then they were going to put your name, but it just says yo.
Where was it?
On his right butt cheek. Oh, yep, exactly.
Oh, that's ridiculous, man.
But I mean, at least you don't see that. You're not going to see that because it's on a personal place.
Sure.
So sure, if he wants to use it as a joke and pull it out sometimes and be like, check out what I did. But yeah, that just reminded me of that.
That's crazy, dude. Well, cool. Let's keep things rolling along. We have a new segment. Hopefully, it's a segment that sticks around. It's one of I'm really excited about this segment. Here, let's introduce our new segment.
It's time to hear some Pitchin flicks.
Awesome. So how this is going to work, me and Shaun have some pitches for movies. Yeah.
It's where we're trying to break into the entertainment, it's good to have the practice of pitching things.
Exactly.
So this is good practice for us.
Exactly. So we're gonna role play what it's like. So I have an idea. I'm gonna pitch it to Shaun. He's gonna and then we're just gonna go vice versa. So who wants to go first? I guess
this is your segment, so take it away, my friend.
All right, I will. Okay, so. It's a dark street, right? Not a sound in the world. Okay,
sound doesn't exist.
Well, you're spoiling.
Oh, sorry.
Sound does exist, but it's just a quiet old town, quiet place. What are those bushes called? Tumbleweed goes through the town, and
that makes a noise, though.
That does make a noise. Yes, you're right. That does make a noise. It goes down, and then all of a sudden, a cat scurries across, and then you see someone running, and then you see another cat scurry, and then this dude's running down a alleyway, and you see cats just scurrying and scurrying and scurrying. He's he's screaming, he's freaking out, and all of a sudden he trips and falls. He turns and slowly looks, and there's 100 zombie cats.
Ooh.
I introduce to you zombie cats.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Really thinking outside the box.
Yeah, the litter box.
What would you call something like that? Cat tact.
No, it's called cat zombies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, straight up. There's a lot of movies that are doing that. They're just saying it like it is.
Exactly. And I mean, the audience will know exactly what they're getting into. It's about a small town where a radioactive plant goes haywire. One of the it's bring your pet to work day. One of them brings in a cat. and then it just goes crazy.
Ah.
So, but here's the thing: the cat can't affect humans; it only can affect other cats. So, yeah.
But the way you pitched it, it sounded like the cats were going to attack the human.
I mean, they're going to eat brains.
Okay.
Zombies always eat brains.
Okay.
You know, but but they don't become. They'll
still kill people and eat their brains,
Yes.
but we don't get infected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Interesting.
Now the budget that I am hoping for is probably in the 26 to 28 million mark. I think that's that way I'll be able to tell the story correctly.
Plus, you're going to need a lot of CGI. Trying to
Yeah.
get all of these cats like choreographed the
Right.
way that you want them to be.
Well, but that's the thing is I don't want to use CGI. I want to use puppets.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I see.
I'm going to get Jim Henson involved. R.I.P. But I mean his company. I'm going to get Jim Henson Company involved. We're going to go like crazy. We're going to make all these puppets. I don't mind if we have to use CG for like a huge like crowd of them, but like in the alleyway when there's 100, I want to have like 100 puppet cats, zombie cats. So, yeah.
Would the main character be male or female?
I mean, of course, female, because we need her to be hot, and so I was thinking, Kat Dennings. So, Kat Dennings will be the lead, and it'll be her very serious. Hey, I know. I mean, Two Broke Girls. She's fantastic, but we need to switch her into a little more dramatic role for this one. But of course, there'll be like a hunky guy, and I'm imagining Antonio Banderas. I mean, that's just who I'm hoping. We'll see. I know he's a busy guy.
He voiced a cat too, ironically.
That's actually why I'm doing it. It'll be a tip to the hat to Puss in Boots.
That's
so, yeah. The director, I am really... Now, I had lunch with him the other day. I'm really hoping for it to be M. Night Shyamalan. I know he normally writes his own stuff.
This is the perfect story for M. Night.
Perfect story. Yeah. But yeah, so that's the basic idea, the basic gist of my movie.
I think you're onto something.
Thank you. If you're a producer out there, please send me millions of dollars. $25-ish million.
Well, we just need 25 of you to send us $1 million.
Yeah, that's perfect. So just do that.
There's 25 millionaires out there that want to see a cat zombie movie.
Yeah, exactly. But what about you? What's movie do you got?
I mean, I've been developing this one forever,
okay.
and I'm like super excited to share it with everyone.
I'm glad that we've known each other for a while.
You guys are getting it here for the first time.
Wow.
So it's like a superpower movie.
Okay.
He fights crime.
Okay, so we're talking like superhero.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
And he can tell when a crime is going to happen.
Okay.
Every time that he eats bread.
Whoa.
So he's like constantly eating bread because
Awesome.
he has to like stay on top of his shit. He's got to
Totally.
be he can't like he has a responsibility.
Totally.
He has to watch over the world.
Yes.
So
That's awesome. What is his name? What's the superhero's name?
working title right now.
Okay.
But it's
Working title on the movie, or like you don't know what the superhero's name is?
the title of the film is still in progress. But,
Okay, gotcha. Yes.
I don't think it should be like straight to the point like yours is, like cat zombie.
Sure.
Because if you're just like bread eating crime preventer, it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Totally.
So, but bread should be in there.
Here, may I make a suggestion? A pitch to the title. Early to rise.
Early to rise.
Right? Because bread rises.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
That's just a suggestion.
That's good. Or bread to fight crime.
Bread to fight crime. I like that. That should be it. That is perfect. What do you guys think of his idea? Oh my gosh! Whoa! I guess there's not a big fan of that. Woo!
I was thinking like James Franco.
Ooh, as the okay.
I think this is the perfect role for him.
You know, he's in the media a lot. He came under fire recently, so maybe this is his way of trying to get the audience back on his side. You know what I'm saying? Who would play the villain? Because every superhero has to have a villain, right?
Well, the villain, he has a gluten intolerance.
Of course, those sons of bitches.
So he's like really against bread.
Perfect.
But Bread Man, he needs that to be able to know when the crimes are happening.
Exactly.
So that's kind of their quarrel. It's not that the guy wants to stop him from doing his job. He just really hates bread, but Bread Man needs it.
So what actor would play the villain?
Anthony Hopkins.
Holy man, you're going all out, huh?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins. I would be down
here's
for
the
that.
thing. Because the superpower doesn't really need a lot of effects. It's not a really effects kind of thing.
Sure.
So we could do this in under 10 mil.
10 million.
Easy,
yeah.
So super low budget. I mean, I guess it depends on how much James and Anthony would do it for.
Sure.
But yeah,
I think they could do it.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think they would totally do it. Now, here's a question. Would it be more like the Dark Knight trilogy, where it's like trying to be realistic, superhero movie, or would it be more like Avengers?
I'm thinking like Kick-Ass.
Ooh,
Kick-Ass style.
Kick-Ass
so,
style.
like when this kid's growing up, every time that he eats bread, he starts to hear things, and it never sounds good.
That's terrifying.
But there comes a point in his life where he's eating a sandwich.
Yes.
He hears the thing, and he decides to act on it because he feels like he can tell where it's coming from. And so
he not only knows when a crime's gonna happen, he knows where. He can sense where.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
that's awesome.
It does him no good if he's like, somebody's getting killed somewhere.
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, that's how he discovers it. He's eating a sandwich. He finally decides to figure out what these voices in his head are about, and that's how he puts it together. And then he's like, well, now I have a responsibility, and just eats bread.
Bread to fight crime, right?
Bread to fight crime.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So tell us what you
10
think.
Million. Yeah, tell us what you think. If you have any things you want to pitch to us, pitch us some movie ideas. We'll tweet at you and we'll hit you up with some questions, and we'll come up with some good movie ideas together. So awesome. I love that. Cool. So this next segment, we're going to get a little serious, guys. This segment is very special to me. So it doesn't need much explanation. Let's just get into it.
Empowering letters for important people with Watson.
Dear Oprah Winfrey, what's up, girl? Listen, you gave a very empowering speech a little while ago, and I gotta say, it made my you know what do you know what. And listen, girl, we've been playing games back and forth, and women are being empowering is very hot, and I'm writing this letter because I want to let you know that if you ran for president, I'd be the first one in the polls. I'd be the first one to jump on in there and vote for you, girl, because I want you to lead the power of the future. So I have a couple requests, though. If you could please let May 11th, my birthday, be all-you-can-eat day, where I could go to any restaurant, any fast food restaurant, doesn't matter, whatever restaurant, and I can eat as much as I wanted for a low price of $10. I go to Wendy's, I can eat as many spicy chick nugs as much as I want. I go to McDonald's, I can eat as many Big Mac as I want. If I went to Popeyes, I could get so many chickens, girl. And another request is that every January, what's today? January, every last day in January, we all got together and we all exchanged numbers, all the single people, so that all the people who are single could find love in the first little bit, Oprah. You had a television show and brought a lot of people together, so I'm going to bring more people together as president. My dear Oprah, I love you so. Thank you. It's okay, buddy.
It was beautiful.
It was. I mean...
No, that was...
Magic!
Thank you, Oprah. I know you listen to our podcast. But that was
she's
just
a big
for you.
fan.
Oh, she's a huge fan. She's the one who's sponsors Poo. I already forgot.
Vaporize.
Vaporize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So thank you, Oprah. All right, now it's time to get into our favorite segment.
Yes, we had fun with this one last time.
Yeah.
People responded really well to it.
I'm gonna come over here.
So this is Don't You Dare Laugh.
Make sure
we
we're-
still don't have an intro for it just yet.
Not yet.
But Watson and I, we each brought 3 funny clips that we're going to show each other. We're going to go back and forth.
I'm much more prepared this time.
And we're just going to try and make each other laugh. And hopefully you guys get some chuckles out of it.
Yes. Who's gonna go first?
Yeah, I think you're more prepared this time. So.
Okay, and you went first last time, so okay. So you guys out there will, if you know your meme game, are probably gonna know this clip. I have to show you 2 clips, so I'm gonna be cheating. It's basically 2 for the price of 1. They're very short. This is my all-time favorite so far. Hit it.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
You already laughed. It's okay. You're not supposed to laugh until this next one anyway.
Okay, true. Okay, so we'll give you, because I keep forgetting. I forgot last time. The funny clips. So he says, somebody touched my spaghetti?
Yes, and for you, we'll put this up so you can see it. If you haven't seen this, it's so funny. It's like an Italian version of like a
Disney
Goldilocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so instead of porridge, it's spaghetti. And so someone comes, 3 bears walk in.
Somebody touched my spaghetti.
Yes, it's so funny.
That's great.
So now there's plenty of clips over. This is the one that I actually wanted to show you. Hit it.
Got it.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
So someone put someone put that meme of somebody touching my spaghetti, and they put it into Smash Mouth's song for the beginning of Shrek.
As he's like kicking open the
Outhouse.
porta potty. Yeah.
And
somebody touching my spaghetti. That's great. That's great.
So fun. But,
All right.
So yeah, we're starting off
Good
strong.
stuff. Yeah, good
Loving
shit.
it.
All right.
What do you got?
So this one is a little girl. So I love like kids say the darndest things. So I'll
Yes.
probably have at least one of these every week.
I'm
But this
fine
is
with that.
this is a little girl leaving her grandmother a voicemail.
Okay, great.
Leave her a message.
At the tone,
When it beeps.
please record your voice message. When you are finished recording, you may hang up or press pound for more options.
She's so cute.
Baby, you stink. Bye-bye.
I can't. So what's funny about that clip is like she says you stink, but her best part of that clip is her reaction.
She laughs at
Laughing.
herself.
Yes. Oh, that's so cute.
That's
oh my
great.
gosh.
Grammy, you stink. Bye.
Okay, I'm in love with that one. You're gonna have to. Oh well, we'll post it so I'll have it where I can see it. All right, perfect.
Okay, what do you got
On to me.
next?
Okay, you might have seen this one. This is a classic. Okay, so this is back in the Vine days. This clip is actually the full clip. It's very short still, but it's the full clip of what happened. Basically, this TV show, I'm assuming, I don't know what the TV show is. Maybe the audience can tell us. Basically, they are playing a game, and I think it's like an impression game, or they're trying to guess what words are on a card. Well, this lady is going to do the perfect impression for you of a Jamaican. Okay?
Ooh, so, and real quick,
Yes.
I've got a buddy who is from Jamaica.
Okay.
And he's like a real stickler about these.
Okay, well, he can help us.
So I'm going to show him this and we'll get his feedback.
We'll get his feedback.
We might bring him on as a guest because he worked on South Park.
Yes,
But
please.
I'll get to this.
Okay.
Oh. What are you... Oh, Marley.
Was that the accent?
Liana's just come back from the island.
Jamaica! That was really good.
What did she even say?
I don't know. But what I love
that was perfect.
I know, right? It's the perfect impression. What I love too is that her co-hosts were like, "That was great! Like, what are you talking about? That is not even close!" Like,
wow.
Oh
it was funny because she sits there for a second and thinks, and then she just bursts out this.
Do we have it up here yet? Oh, whoops. Do we have it up here yet? Dang it! We'll have to get it up here. But yeah, that's
great.
Fun. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Okay,
this one's like 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's a lady who her apartment building caught fire.
Oh, I love this one.
And she's doing a news interview.
Oh yeah. I cannot. There's no way I can't laugh at this. I've seen this before, but there's no way.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. And she said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire. Not
today. There's so many sound bites you could take from that. Oh. Which one did you use?
Not today.
Yeah. Awesome. Not today. That one's so perfect. When that came out, you should listen because when these things come out, people make like songs of it. Have you heard the song version?
Yes.
Yes, so good. Oh my gosh, we could do like a day of just that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so this is my last one.
Okay.
This is basically in 6 seconds sums up the entire plot of Star Wars. 6 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, hit it. It's also a kid.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, for those, at home, basically someone walks up, a little kid turns and says, Daddy, and then it flashes up and it's Darth Vader and he says, yeah, and then flashes to the Star Wars intro. So fun fact about this is actually a recut version. The original version is a girl does this to this little boy and then pans up and then it's a girl after he says Daddy and then she's like, do I look like your daddy? But then he cut it to the Star Wars thing. So really brilliant on his part.
Yeah, that's clever.
I love this kind of stuff, dude. If you, one day we hope to do like a viewer suggested of these. If you want to get me to laugh, send me a movie type edit, and I will laugh. It is something that is guaranteed.
Back to the Future is like his shit too. Yeah, so just so you know, little heads up.
We could talk maybe one episode we'll do like Back to the Future, just themed, and I will just die of happiness.
All right, I'm ending this one strong.
Okay, here we go.
I hope you haven't seen this one.
All right.
There's a lot of anesthesia videos out there.
I love them. We'll see. I'm up to date. I'm pretty up to date on my anesthesia. So
okay. This is like a redheaded 13-year-old kid.
Okay, I don't think I have.
And he's just talking like a gangster for some reason. Like his family's like, why is he talking like that? But this is just a clip of something he says.
Okay.
Dubai was lit. Yo, bro, Dubai was lit. I was like,
Did you buy anything else in Dubai?
Did I buy anything else? I buy like billions of strippers, man.
Brandon.
What?
No strippers.
No, many strippers, bro. No strippers. What are you talking about, freaky woman?
Is that his mom? I think it's his mom.
I don't know,
he's talking
but now
to.
we've got.
What are you talking about, freaky woman?
Oh, that's fun.
Oh man,
that's super fun. Well, all right, we ended that very strong. Oh my god!
I went through a lot of anesthesia videos trying to find that.
That's a good one. I've never seen that one, so that worked out perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's time to come to our final-ish segment.
Yeah, we're getting close.
It's time for some. Oh, here we go.
Listener email. Listener email. All right. Perfect. Yeah, we got a couple more emails in, so let's see what people want to know.
Hit us with
This is from my friend Nikki.
What's up, Nikki?
Nikki just got done working on Troll Hunters, which is a DreamWorks TV show on Netflix.
I love it.
Created by Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Nikki says, if you were to be a mythical creature, which mythical creature would you be and why? Yeah.
It's a good question. I'd probably have to go with the... Sorry, that's my phone. The hippogriff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
From Harry Potter?
From Harry Potter. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's basically like a griffin, but even cooler.
Yeah, it's much more bad. I mean, griffins are pretty badass, but that is super cool.
The hippogriff.
I think that would be pretty good. Hippogriff. I hope I'm saying that right.
I think so. If not, we're going to get murdered by Harry Potter fans.
I think we'll need to get used to that. People are going to just... So... Yeah.
Well,
what about you?
I would think that this would be a good chance to take advantage of the ability to fly. So I'm
right.
So I'm like, well, what's the coolest flying mythical creature? You got hippogriff, so I guess that's true. I don't know, man. What is... Oh, Pegasus. Pegasus is cool.
Pegasus, okay.
Because horses are cool.
Yeah.
And a flying horse is just even better.
Even cooler.
So, yeah.
Majestic and fly, literally.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to miss my thumbs, but I guess they don't need them. So
they don't. I mean,
if you can fly, who needs thumbs?
Who needs thumbs?
All right. Nikki also asks, if you were to ever grow sick and tired of working in Hollywood and ended up wanting to do something different with your life, what would you do? And where would you end up doing it? For her example is that her plan B is to move to Italy and own a bakery.
Whoa. That's pretty dope.
That's pretty neat.
Mine is actually kind of similar for hers. I would actually be a chef.
Nice.
I love cooking. I binge watch cooking and travel shows. It'd be cool to open like a little restaurant like that I made and created myself, I guess, in LA or New York or back in Utah maybe. But yeah, I love cooking. Have you seen the movie Chef, by the way?
Not yet, but I know of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's good. A movie directed by, oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Is it the guy who stars in it? He's a director.
Yep. Yeah. It's the guy who stars in it, Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau, yeah.
He did
director
Jungle
of Iron
Book.
Man.
Yeah. So
a lot of shit.
He's great. And yeah, so that's probably what I do. What about you?
I guess like I've always just been interested in people. So working with people, whether it's social work or psychology or something like that.
That's pretty dope.
Would be maybe. I mean, I don't really have a plan B. So
yeah.
That would just be something that I think I could learn to enjoy. But this is the only thing that, like, animation is the only thing that I know that I will wake up every day and be like, hell yeah, I get to go to work today.
Yeah.
So. But that is a good question. It's something to consider.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think if I ever get to the point where I have enough money that I don't need to worry about other things, I think I want to take like cooking classes and like start getting a little more.
Would you even like on the side, if you're like a millionaire and you're just balling from your film money, would you just maybe open a restaurant?
Oh, I'd love to. That's definitely on the top of my list of like, I'd like to open up my own theater. And and then also open a restaurant. That would be so cool.
Nice. Yeah. I'd come eat there.
There you go. Thank you.
Would you have an annual all-you-can-eat day?
On May 11th, on my birthday. Yes, nice. Absolutely. Do we got another one?
We do. My buddy Meeks emailed in.
Okay.
And Meeks has a few questions on here. The first one is, well, he listened to our last episode 1.
Okay.
And he's like, you said that Steven Spiel nerd had the biggest impact on entertainment, but what about Walt Disney?
Oh, that's a good point.
And I've thought about this since I read it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can totally agree with him on that. But the question last week was, who's had the biggest impact in the last 50 years? And so what I'm getting at is Disney's been around. Like, if the question was the last 75 years, Spielberg wouldn't even be an option.
Yeah.
And Disney would be right up there with, like, Hitchcock or something like that. But, you know, I do like his point. I can't argue with it.
Sure. And I'll also add with that is, like, I know he didn't mention, like, if it was for us, like, in our lives specifically, because obviously me and you haven't been alive that long. But I have to only take advice, you know, I only have to give my advice from my own life experiences. And I love Disney, and definitely as a kid, I grew up I grew up with Disney, but I didn't feel like I knew the path of where I wanted to take until I watched Spielberg movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so love Disney. I will always, you know, see all their movies, and Coco is amazing. But yeah, Spielberg was the person who, at least why I said, because for me, that put me on that path.
For sure.
So I have a question for Meekus, though. Meeks?
Meekus
is like the guy from Boy Meets World. The nerdy kid. I mean, you called him Steven Spiel nerd? Is that what he called him?
Yeah.
Whoa, so are you not a fan?
I mean, I can't speak for him, but I think he's just talking crap. That's just his sense of humor.
Rile us up?
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Meeks.
And then one more. Well, he sent us a separate email, but one more from this email is, if The Purge was real, what would you do? Like the annual purge where one day a year, all crime is legal. What would you do? That is...
I mean, nothing.
Well, the safe bet is to just have, like, somewhere safe to go and be while it happens.
Right. That's probably what I'd do.
And most people do that.
I couldn't kill anybody. That's not my thing.
I'm a pacifist.
Yeah.
I could definitely defend myself against somebody who's trying to kill me. Like, if it's me or them, like, sure. But I mean, at the same time, this is your one chance to be like a vigilante.
Yeah.
So
you would maybe defend people. Sorry, my back is killing me. So
you could defend people that are being attacked on the purge, or you can be like, you know what? This guy's a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's messed up a lot of people's lives, and I don't think anybody would miss him.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a hard question. I think I'd be one of those people that just barricaded myself. You guys do what you want to do. I'm not going to be involved in this purge. I mean, all crime, I don't really know of a crime that I would participate in. So.
Well, Dane Cook used to have this bit about how every guy wants these two things. They want a pet monkey, and they want to be a part of a heist.
But see, I feel like it would take the fun out of the, like, if it was legal, then why do it? Because it's
you've been planning this heist all year.
Yeah.
You show up to the bank. You're like, we're robbing you, bitches, and they're like, all right.
Oh wait, it's the purge day.
Yeah, you made it just in time.
Yeah, we were just
you're
stuffing
like,
our pockets.
Dude,
yeah,
I need some resistance.
Yeah, I would love to be a part of a heist, but if it's legal, it's like, whatever.
That's true. Yeah, I guess the question is, how would they? I feel like the banks would probably like lock it down super hard.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
but if you broke in and
it would still be legal, but they still have all these assets that they're trying to protect.
So maybe it would more become a way of like, how can we best this bank? Because if we can break in and get out, then we're gonna get away scot-free.
Yeah,
so,
true.
That's the thing, Purge. I know you're like focused on being like a horror type thing, but maybe do a heist movie. Okay, change it up.
Yeah.
But
so we'll end it with one more quick one from Meeks. He just says, if you could work with anybody in the industry, celebrity or director, who would it be?
Dang, that is a good question. Here, you take this one because I led the last one. Who would you work with?
Ooh. Well, celebrity or director. So I have to look at it as, what would my position in the film be? I would probably work on an animated film.
Okay.
And I'd probably help somewhere in the story department. So I would just like to work with like Pixar on an animated film. So the first name that comes to mind is John Lasseter.
Okay.
But you know, we'll say like Pete Docter. He's another Disney director. He did like The Incredibles and
awesome.
He's doing the next Incredibles. So he seems like a cool
I'm so
guy.
excited for that, and that's this year.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Have you seen the memes about the detail they've put in the shirt in the new trailer?
No,
I'll have to show it to you. There's something like
they're all about those little Easter eggs.
Yeah. But like, there's just the fabric in Mr. Incredible's shirt. It's so cool. So I'll have to find that for you. For me, I want to be a director. So me being a director, I would love to work with. I've always wanted to work with Ryan Gosling.
Nice.
Like he may not be like he's great. He may not be my favorite like actor of all time. He's definitely an amazing actor. But for some reason, like every movie I see him in, I just love him as a person and like
he has a good intensity.
Yeah, good range, and like I think he could be like my favorite movie of last year that he was in was what's it called? Nice Guys. You ever seen Nice Guys?
I haven't yet.
Dude, you have to
with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it has Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. And
okay,
it's so good. But yeah, I mean, he would probably be my big heavy hitter that I'd love to work with. But then like I'd love to work with some comedy people like Seth Rogen. Like I know they have their own directors, but I would love to have him like just in my stuff. He's kind of been big for me. And then just to like make a movie on the Universal lot, I think would be really fun. I know it's not a person to work with, but Universal has always been like, oh, that's like the dream. You mentioned working with Pixar. I would love if like Universal was like, hey, we'll buy your movie, film it here or something.
Nice.
I'd love that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, is that it for now?
That is our listener email for today.
Remember,
so thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Meeks.
Thank you, guys. And remember, you too can send us listener email. Just send it to tdlapodcast@gmail.com. And, follow us on social media and stuff. But before we go, we're going to wrap it up. We kind of like to share like either a funny or like inspirational or whatever kind of like funny little moment. Yes?
Yeah, so last episode, we read the excerpt from the Art of Rick and Morty book. Yeah. And so we just kind of decided maybe it would be fun to close our shows with like funny or just entertaining excerpts or whatever we feel like would be fun, good to share.
Yeah.
So I took the last one and Watson has this one.
Yeah. So I chose to go with this is the last moments of Del Close. For those who don't know who Del Close was basically, he made improv what improv is today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot to say.
Yeah. He's the Gandhi of improv, basically. Or the Buddha of improv. Depends. I love his kind of final moments. And he's had some controversy throughout his life. The only thing that you personally probably have known him from, he was a teacher in Ferris Bueller. Not the one that goes Bueller, but he's another teacher.
Oh, okay.
But really he made improv where it is today. So, his last moments are pretty incredible and I thought would be fun to share. So, I have an article here that kind of just goes through about, what happened. So I'll just read a little bit, not taking too much time. I might skim through so that it's not, because this is a long article. Might skim through. So here it goes. And this is told from a lot of perspectives. Sharna Halpern, who is the owner of the theater I used to work at, this is hers. Del was immediately... So this is them going into the hospital. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. Del called Sharna, his partner at Improv Olympic, to say that he was hallucinating and it might be best if she drove him to class. She said he should go to the hospital. No, Del told her. I don't mind the colors. It's fine. I have a class to teach, an improv class. He wanted to teach an improv class.
He started hallucinating and said, no, I got to teach this class.
Right, yeah.
While there's unicorns and fairies flying around.
Yeah, exactly. But Sharna stayed firm and said, you either go peacefully or I will carry you and get some of the biggest improvisers in the theater to get you to the hospital. He finally relented, and Sharna drove him to the hospital. Dell was immediately put on inhalation therapy, and his color came back. "Oh, thank you, honey. You saved my life," he told Sharna. She left after dinner and told him she'd pick him up in the morning. But overnight, Dell turned a turn for the worst. Sharna got a call from the hospital at 5 a.m. and rushed to his side. "I saw him strapped down in his bed with the tube down his throat." Sharna would say later, the only moment was his hands and on the wrist and slightly able to nod at his head. He was crying. Dell had a hard time communicating, so what they would do is he would have a pen and scratch notes with whatever, scratch a piece of paper to find. He would write, "Death is not the enemy. I don't want to die their way. I want to die my own way. Once I die, you can finally have a boyfriend like me, but younger."
Still got a sense of humor on his last leg.
When therapists arrived, he reluctantly asked, or he would ask if they would turn off his oxygen. So Dell asked if they would turn off his oxygen because he didn't want to die the way that the hospital wanted him to, slowly. He wanted to die his own way. So they took him off oxygen, and he kept living for a while. So
how long is a while?
Let's see. It says 3 weeks after oxygen.
Wow.
Yeah. But they wouldn't let him go home. So people would stop by, including like Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, to give their kind of final
goodbyes.
Because these are people who took his classes, and Chris Farley, all these people. I'm kind of skimming through here because and then finally an article came out, because there's always been a debate is if improv was an art form because it was so new back then. This is in 1999, but he started it in like the, I think, late 70s.
Wow.
And finally someone wrote an article about how it's an art form, and Dell, who hadn't been able to talk, said it is an art form. It's finally an art form, because someone acknowledged that it was right before he died.
Oh.
And then this is let me see. Okay, sorry. And then this was the final moments here. Dell waited as the nurses assembled for the morphine drip. He talked to his friend Sharna. Sharna sat on his bed and held his hand. "Promise me you'll make the skull thing happen." So one of his last wishes was that his skull would be taken from his body and used in like Hamlet and stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
this guy really cared about theater.
Yeah, right? He said, "Promise me you'll make the skull thing happen no matter what," he said, "and keep my ashes in the theater where I can affect the work." Sharna said, I will. "And tell them all the who succeed and tell them all that we succeed where others have failed. We created theater of the heart, a theater where people cherish each other to succeed on stage. Tell the students theater of the heart." When the morphine arrived, Dell was ready. "Turn it up," he said in a booming voice. The doctor turned it up, saying, "We're still within legal limits." A few seconds later, Dell complained, "Come on, I used to be a drug addict. I know what I'm supposed to be feeling. Turn it up." In disbelief, the doctor increased the dosage again, repeating, "We are still within the legal limits." A few seconds later, "Turn it up, Jesus," the doctor said while complying. He has had enough to put out a horse. After a few seconds, Dell sighed. "Thank God. I'm tired of being the funniest person in the room." And he died. That was his final words. So, yeah. So, yeah, Dell Close is, as me being a lover of improv and comedy and things like that, he's kind of made improv what he is today. Like I said, there's a lot of, as with any people, there's a lot of controversy that has come with him. But fundamentally, I take what he has done, and I try and live that, not just with improv, but in just normal life in general, like not taking things for granted, living life to your fullest. And living out in LA, you kind of learn, this could be your only shot ever. You could only be in the room with this person once. You may never see them again. you better make a good impression, talk to them, do something. And it's really kind of pushing me out of my shell. So
great.
Yeah.
Is that the iOS theater?
Yep. That's the one that he started with Shaun Halpern.
Do they keep his ashes there?
I don't know about Chicago. I'll have to see. The skull thing. So at the funeral, she showed up with the skull in her hands, and someone did the Hamlet thing there. And the one that she brought, was used in plays and stuff. But she did later fess up that the what do you call it? The hospital laughed at her when she asked if that could happen, and they were like, "No, we're not going to take somebody's head off and clean their skull for you, lady." So
wow, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I think that's. But I think that's it for today.
Wait, they said.
What are you talking about, freaky woman?
Not the
Those both words.
Those both work. Totally. So yeah. So I think that's it for us today, right? Anything
man.
Else? That was
another great show.
Another great fun show, dude. It just flies by.
We hope you enjoyed it, audience. One more round of applause.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will see you all next week.
Oh, real quick. Be sure to rate us wherever you're listening. Give us 5 stars.
If you're listening to us on iTunes.
Yep, please give us 5 stars. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at TDLA Podcast, and send us your questions at tdlapodcast@gmail.com. There we go.
All right. Thanks again.
Woo-hoo! All right, thanks, everybody.
See you next time.